Hello and welcome to our channel. In this video, we're going to talk about 10 actors who are currently rotting in jail. So stay with us till the end and don't forget to subscribe. Let's start. Number 10. Drew Drechsel. Drew Drechsel gained popularity on American Ninja Warrior and NBC, where he participated and won season 11. In the younger season of the program, he also served as a mentor. After allegedly attempting to have a relationship with a minor, Drew was detained in 2020. Drechsel was found to have explicit pictures of the same minor. This happened right before the premiere of Drew's heavily featured new season of American Ninja Warrior on NBC. Drechsel was accused of making lewd materials by luring a minor to travel for illegal activities, planning to travel with the intention of having lewd relations with a minor, and using interstate commerce to entice a minor. He was told to stay behind bars until his trial. All efforts by Drechsel and his legal team to secure Drechel's release on bail have fallen short. He could spend the rest of his life behind bars. Number 9. Michael Jace. You might recognize him from the 89-episode FX series The Shield, in which he played Julian Lowe. The thing is, it wasn't all roses for Jace back home. He was convinced that his wife, April, was romantically involved with another man, so on the evening of May 19, 2014, he arrived home early, grabbed his gun, and went about his business while patiently waiting for his wife. According to authorities, Jace then fatally shot his wife. Jace called the cops when she got home. When asked how he wanted to be assisted, Jace replied, "I shot my wife." When the cops arrived at the house, they questioned Michael, who admitted to the shooting but claimed it was unintentional. Jace was charged with murder the next day and found guilty of second-degree murder. On June 10, 2016, he was sentenced to 40 years in prison for life and is currently incarcerated at the Corcoran State Prison. Number 8. Zachary J. Horvitz. We may recognize Zachary J. Horvitz from low-budget films such as Last Moment of Clarity, The White Crow, and Trespassers. Zach wasn't a very good guy all the way through because he collected millions of dollars for his film company, 1M Capital LLC, in an elaborate Ponzi scheme from 2014 to 2019. He lied to his investors, claiming that the funds would be used to purchase film distribution rights to films that would be licensed to companies such as Netflix and HBO, and then allegedly promised them extremely high returns. Zach had never worked for Netflix or HBO. The money from later investors would then be used to pay back the original investors, who included 3 of his closest friends and family members, while funding a lavish lifestyle that included the purchase of a $6 million home. On April 5, 2021, he was detained and accused of orchestrating a $690 million Ponzi scheme that had started in 2015. He did enter a guilty plea, and on February 14, 2022, he was given a 20-year federal prison sentence as well as a $230 million restitution order. Number 7. Will Hayden. The reality television series Sons of Guns on the Discovery Channel starred Hayden and aired from 2011 to 2014. Hayden was detained by law enforcement for molesting a child back in 2014, the same year that the celebrity up next was detained for aggravated crimes against nature, according to his ex-girlfriend. Hayden vehemently denied all allegations, claiming an enraged ex-girlfriend had made them up. As a result, Discovery cut ties with Hayden, which resulted in the cancellation of Sons of Guns. Hayden's career didn't end here. His eldest daughter came forward and claimed that her father had dragged her to his church against her will. He too entered a not guilty plea. As a result, his bail was increased from $200,000 to $350,000. Hayden was found guilty 2 years later and given 2 life sentences, which became 3 life sentences after he entered a plea of not guilty to all charges, to run concurrently with 40 years of consecutive incarceration. Number 6. Joshua Duggar. You may be familiar with Joshua Duggar from the reality television program 19 Kids and Counting, which aired from 2010 to 2015. The oldest of Michelle and Jim Bob Duggar's 19 children is Josh Duggar. His family members have allegedly been involved in a number of previous allegations of child molestation. Joshua intentionally received pornographic images of children in May 2019. He was consequently taken directly to jail. Fortunately for him, bail was granted, but only under the condition that he had contact with the 6 young children in his wife's presence. Gerald Faulkner, a special agent for Homeland Security investigations, remarked that the computer's files were among the 5 worst he had ever had to examine. Josh was found guilty on December 9, 2001, and now faces up to $250,000 in fines and 20 years in federal prison. On April 5, 2022, he is reportedly going to be sentenced. Liking the video? Then go like, share, and subscribe. Number 5. Jared Fogle. Up until 2007, when journalist and radio host Rochelle Herman-Wallen reported that Fogle had made lewd remarks to her about middle-aged girls, everything was going well for the former Subway spokesman and actor. He had served as the Subway spokesperson for roughly 7 years by this point. Rochelle later presented text messages and audio recordings she had made between her and Jared to the FBI. She made friends with Fogle for the following 4 years while using the Loki to record their conversations because the FBI needed more recordings. The FBI raided Fogle's home on July 7, 2015 as part of an ongoing federal investigation, and what they discovered was shocking, if not blinding. As a result, the Subway declared that Fogle and the business had mutually decided to sever ties on the same day. He agreed to a plea deal despite facing 50 years in prison. Fogle was given a 15-year, 8-month prison term in a federal facility, with at least 13 years to go before he can apply for parole. At the moment, he's detained at the federal prison in Inglewood. Number 4. Harvey Weinstein. In the past, Harvey Weinstein was a titan in the movie business. He founded Miramax, and among the successful movies he executive produced were The Upside in 2017, The Founder in 2016, Southpaw in 2015, Mandela's Long Walk to Freedom in 2013, and Django Unchained in 2012. Pretty awesome, no? Things were destined to go wrong for Weinstein, and in October 2017, they fell apart like a house of cards. Harvey was accused of harassment and assault by several women. The British Academy of Film and Television Arts suspended him, and the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences expelled him. He was also fired from his own production company. He was criticized by prominent politicians he supported, and the Queen revoked his CBE in the following ways. In 2020, Weinstein was given a sentence of 23 years in prison, but he still has other charges pending, and if found guilty, he could receive a sentence of up to 140 years. Number 3. Joseph Son. Son, who played a variety of roles in the 1997 movie Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery, is well known. Son was sentenced to 150 days in prison after entering a guilty plea to felony vandalism in May 2008 because he had subsequently broken his probation. He agreed to offer a DNA sample as part of his plea bargain. An almost 18-year-old sex crime in which the son and a group of other men forced themselves into a woman was then connected to his DNA sample. My son received a 7-year to life sentence as a result. 3 years later, in 2011, while incarcerated at the Wasco State Prison, Michael Thomas Graham's cellmate was fatally attacked by the son. Number 2. Danny Masterson. 4 women came forward in March 2017 and accused Danny of sexual assault. Danny rejected the claims as untrue. Danny was fired by Netflix on December 5th of that year, announcing that his final day of work was yesterday and that the show would continue without him in early 2018. 3 women, a 23-year-old in 2001, a 28-year-old in the beginning of 2003, and a 23-year-old in the latter half of 2003 were accused of being forced upon by Danny Masterson. As of the publication of this video, Danny's still free on bail of $3.3 million, but if found guilty, he could spend up to 45 years in the Crowbar Hotel. His defense team claimed that the 3 women conspired against him and that they were in contact with each other. Number 1. Jussie Smollett. His role as musician Jamal Lyon in the Fox drama series Empire will be familiar to you. In a police report that Jussie filed on January 29, 2019, Brock claimed that the 2 men wearing ski masks charged at him, biting him with their hands, feet, and teeth while yelling racial and homophobic profanities. Jussie further asserted that these men, who were allegedly ardent supporters of Donald Trump and disapproved of Smollatt's criticism of him, attacked him with an unidentified liquid. A grand jury indicted Sens for making a false police report a month later, and the following day he returned himself into the Chicago police. Prosecutors dropped all charges against Smollett in March of that year in exchange for him completing 16 hours of community service and giving up his $10,000 bond. But after allegations of favoritism and leniency surfaced, a special prosecutor launched an investigation. Santa the Pen was scheduled to complete 150 days of jail time and 2.5 years of probation on March 10, 2022. In addition to being fined $25,000, he was also required to pay the city of Chicago just over $100,000 in restitution. And that's all. If you liked the video, do like, share, comment, and subscribe. And click on the video on the screen to watch 7 actresses currently rotting in jail. See you there!